Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to this year, the AECRS 2025 Gala Dinner Program. This day, we are celebrating collaboration, mentorship. We are celebrating the work that our researchers have done in Africa, advancing research in Africa. Today is the day of celebration. I know we're here with researchers, but we want you to celebrate. No conceptualizing, no thinking about reframing. We just want to celebrate. Are you with me? So colleagues, today, let's build up to what will be coming up tomorrow in the wonderful workshop that is planned. And we want to make sure that before we get to that, we have celebrated the work that has happened in the past months with the AECRS program. Without wasting any time, I'm going to welcome the CEO of USAf, Dr. Petiwe Matutu, to come and welcome our guest. And let's give her a hand as she walks to the front.
Thanks to the program director, Dr. Tsebe. My role is to open the event. There is someone who will welcome you officially from USAf. Let me start by introducing our organization. Most of you are familiar with who we are. We are Universities South Africa, the representative body of all the 26 public universities in South Africa. The Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars is one of the programs that we run within the stable of capacity building programs within USAf. We have others on capacity building, Women in Leadership, which is under the helm, Higher Education, Leadership and Management. We have SWEEP, which is under the Entrepreneurship Program. The SWEEP is also for women entrepreneurs within public universities. So the issue of capacity building, the issue of equity, the issue of inclusivity is one of the areas that we focus on as an organization, as Universities South Africa. This is one of the programs that we use to live those values and that focus as an organization. The program is funded by the Department of Science, Technology, Innovation, who are our bosses. They are here, led by the Deputy Director General, Mr. Imran Patel, and the foot soldier, Mr. Begi Hadebe, and we have our doc here, who is relatively new in the broader scheme of things. We know each other from the NRF here. She is relatively new, but the doc supports us enormously in rolling out this program. Within Universities South Africa, we have a number of strategy groups. They guide our board. Our board are all the vice chancellors in the areas of focus that they should be having. So we have one of them, which is called the Research and Innovation Strategy Group. We're so blessed to have members of this strategy group with us, Dr. Vatiswa Zamxaka, who is DVC for Research and Internationalization from TUT. And we have other members who are also with us of this Research and Innovation Strategy Group. She will be welcoming you officially, and we will be So in our sense that she's more of a representative of USAf than a CEO, because they are the people who have charted this way forward that we have here. We have a number of champions for the program who are with us, and we're so grateful for that. We have the mentors, we have the mentees, and it's not everybody who's here. Only the select few are here in order to assist us in tomorrow's workshop in charting the way forward, reflecting on where we come from, and it is quite a pleasure to have all of you here. We're looking forward to this celebration. We're looking forward to just reflecting back, taking time, and letting our head down. We have major people who are running the program on the ground. Professor Stephanie Burton, who is also with us, together with the staff within the office, a former Deputy Vice Chancellor from the University of Pretoria, with us. And who did I forget now to mention? I've got so many people I've forgotten to mention. Janet, who's running the program from our side within USAf. As I've mentioned, it fits in very, very nicely with the work that we do of capacity building as USAf, and also the area of inclusion, diversity, and ensuring that our universities are able to grow. So we, as Universities South Africa, do a lot of this work for a very simple reason, that we know the history of our institutions. If we're not to do this kind of work, we know the implications, we know the inequalities which would arise within our system. We know what that would mean for our country, not only universities, the socio-economic positioning of our country. So the relevance of this work is there from SDG level, where we have to look at the diversity, gender equality. That is at a global level. At a national level, we've got so many of these strategies which are focused on the human capacity development, and at an institutional level as Universities South Africa. So today, as it has been said, we are quite grateful that you are all here, and let me take this opportunity to declare the gala dinner open. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Matutu, for such a wonderful welcome and speech. I told them we're not doing any research work, we're not doing any conceptualization, we're not reframing. So when we use the word reflection, I was actually scared that you might take them into that mentorship mode. But I think it's a toned down word, colleagues. We are reflecting about the journey. So don't take it too deep into research. Just keep it light. We are reflecting about the journey. So Dr. Matutu has welcome, opened this program. Thank you. Dr. Matutu has opened the floor, and we appreciate it for that. I think feel welcome, colleagues. Now we are going to move to Dr. Vatiswa. I think Dr. Matutu has already provided a background, so I'm going to welcome her to come to the front and Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Dr. Vatiswa Papu Zamxaka is someone that we know in the system. She has been with us for quite some time. And those of us who have been in the system for quite some time will remember that she was a director for the Reviews and Evaluation Directorate within the National Research Foundation. And very quick, we saw her as an NRF board member. And that happened at the same time that she was also climbing the ladder within the Synexus clinical research. And she climbed it up to the level of being country director for South Africa on accelerated enrollment solutions. And now she is the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation, and Engagement at Tshwane University of Technology. And those who were there at our event yesterday of the Entrepreneurship Development in Higher Education Awards will know that the winner comes from her institution. And that winner got R500,000. She has a number of qualifications, first degree from the University of Cape Town, a PhD in public health, London South Bank University in the United Kingdom. She has done a number of other additional qualifications. Those of us who know her, she's very much into self-development. She has a certificate in artificial intelligence from Harvard University. To you, Dr. Zamxaka.
Sanbonan, Dumelang, Abshen, good evening. I thought we were here to celebrate, but I'm not getting the mood of celebration. Maybe the colleagues are waiting for the night. Maybe they're saying the night is still too young to do the real celebration. Dr. Petiwa Matutu, the CEO of Universities South Africa, the force to be reckoned with. We have seen USAf, we have felt USAf, and we are still experiencing USAf. The Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars Program team, to our DTG from the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, DSTI, and to my very fellow colleagues whom I served with across a number of organizations. My fellow colleague who's now at UJ, who was with me at the NRF, Prof. I recognize you. My fellow DVCs, I've seen a couple of them in the room. I don't know where, yeah, Dr. Prof. Paswana, whom I serve with, and Prof. Jessica Singh from UWC, colleagues in the room, the entire representation from the DSTI, as well as USAf colleagues, the partners from industry and academia, distinguished guests, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to this distinguished gala dinner, which celebrates the significant progress and influence of the AECRS Programme, as I will abbreviate it tonight. This evening, we convene not only to honor the program itself, but also to acknowledge a national dedication to enhancing South Africa's future academic and research capabilities. As we reflect on the establishment of the Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars Program, inspired by the 2018 DSTI USAf study, a study on building a cadre of emerging scholars for higher education in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reminded of the vital role institutions play in nurturing talent. It is our duty in the academic institutions to nurture talent and to influence and impact our societies. CEO, we strongly believe as universities that academic institutions are not monuments of elite. Neither they are ivory towers, but they exist to solve societal challenges. Of course, working together with our government and also working together with industry. And hence, we take the role of nurturing talent very seriously, because the graduates that we produce, they go back to our societies to serve them. Going back to the study, ladies and gentlemen, it highlighted the silent majority within our universities, emerging academics who often lack the mentorship, lack the research culture, and support structures necessary for growth. Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars addresses this gap by reinforcing institutional responsibility for creating strong ecosystems of supervision, of development and academic progression. And for that, we're truly grateful. Since its inception in 2020, the Advancing Early Careers Researchers and Scholars Program has developed into a model of collaborative capacity development, a system that operates not in silos, but as a cohesive national effort. The program's initial sector-wide mapping study reveals systemic gaps in supervision, in supervision in research training, and in institutional support. These findings have guided the development of interventions grounded in evidence and shaped by both national priorities and institutional realities. A dual perspective I am privileged to witness through my work on the program advisory committee as well as in research and innovation strategy group of USAf. The establishment of the Community of Practice for Postgraduate Education and Scholarship exemplifies this collaboration. With representation from all 26 publicly funded universities, these collective efforts promote shared approaches to postgraduate pedagogy, supervision, academic writing, and research development. It demonstrates the strength of sector-wide unity in advancing academic excellence. Professor Stephanie Burton, in that same spirit of shared growth, we celebrate the introduction of TUSO resources and TUSO Connect, introduced in May 2023. These digital platforms represent a turning point in how emerging academics access mentorship, learning material, and a national community of support. TUSO resources democratizes access to research development material, whilst TUSO Connect enables meaningful mentor-mentee relationship and vibrant peer learning communities. Their adoption has been remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. They now serve users from all 26 publicly funded universities with increasing participation from countries such as Botswana, Canada, Germany, India, and United States. You're not even clapping hands. Tell us, Yaini, Kumzans, Batung. These platforms are not merely tools. They act as catalysts for confidence, community, and continuity in research journey. As we celebrate tonight, we also prepare for tomorrow's workshop, a space designed for reflection, for co-creation, and for planning. I encourage all participants to bring insights from your own institutional contexts, what is working, where challenges persist, and what support systems are needed for early career researchers to succeed and thrive. The workshop aimed to identify strategic priorities for 2026, practical evidence-based actions that strengthen institutional capacity while maintaining national coherence. Your voices, experiences, and ideas are vital in shaping the next phase of the Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars Program. As I draw closer to the end, tonight we celebrate not only milestones, but also people. We celebrate not only milestones, but also people. Without people behind all of this work, we wouldn't be here tonight. To our mentors, to our mentees, institutional coordinators, the Program Advisory Committee, Strategy Group, particularly the Research and Innovation, I'm biased, administrators and collaborators across all 26 universities, thank you. Re a leboga. Siyabulela bethuna. Your dedication drives this program forward and ensures that its impact is felt where it matters the most, in the lives and careers of emerging academics. We also acknowledge the program's investment in sustainable monitoring and evaluation, including the national tool developed to track institutional support for early career researchers. This strengthens policy decisions and ensures long-term accountability and progress. In the words of the former first state president, Dr. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, education is the most powerful tool or weapon which you can use to change the world. And that is a quote from him. The program, the AECRS program, embodies this vision, empowering our emerging academics to make meaningful contributions to society through research, teaching, and innovation. If our research in academic institutions is not changing the course in our societies, if it's not improving the lives of the marginalized, if it's not doing anything to create a space for a child who would have not been in a position to step into a university, then it is null and void. So this is a call to all of us to take this seriously, and dare I say, as someone who's from health sciences, we go for the jugular vein. On that note, welcome. May tonight's gathering inspire renewed commitment, deeper collaboration, and continued investment in nurturing early career researchers. In my language, I say, kufaya yonke into zakuthi. Amaqhawakazana ngalala indleleni ngabe kunyembelekile. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DVC, for such wonderful words. I think I needed my Xhosa dictionary for the last part, but I could hear it's very important. So thank you so much, DVC. I think those were very inspiring to take us back into the work that AECRS is doing and to give us some background about some stats and the impact and the role that it has in South Africa. And I think your call to nurture talent, I think, has been heard. And I totally agree that This particular program, it does that by strengthening research in South Africa. Colleagues, I was greeting Prof. Baton earlier, telling her that during her tenure, I was a PhD scholar at UP. I didn't tell her that I also studied theology. And, well, theology was my second degree, rather. And, you know, in theology, there's a time when John was baptizing, and when Jesus arrived, he said, "The one coming is mightier than I am." And I think the next speaker is like that. I'm not even qualified to introduce her. My PhD title can't even help me because it doesn't have a C next to it. So I had to ask the CEO, and I must tell you that USAf is currently busy with performance. And I have to, CEO, hope that by keeping you so busy on stage, it's not going to affect my performance at all. So let me welcome the CEO to welcome the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tsebe. Colleagues, this whole issue of capacity building within the postgraduates, together with the early career researchers, is an area where a number of us has been involved in for years. I did mention the fact that Dr. Maputi Madir, we worked together at the NRF. It was early career researchers. And a very strange phenomenon where we're given a lot of money and we couldn't use this money properly. It was quite a nightmare where we had so much money that we couldn't fully use. So I hope that all of those kinds of problems have since disappeared. And we have Dr. Andrew Kaniki, the same. We work together within the National Research Foundation, and this area as well of capacity building. In his case, he was able to do anything and everything that you wanted him to do, whether it's internationalization, whether it's capacity building, whether it's grants, awards, a number of areas. Professor Jessica Singh, as well, has been quite a driver within the Research and Innovation Strategy Group of USAF, while she was still DVC at University of Limpopo, but has since moved to UWC, and she assists us with a number of areas that we still want to drive within USAF. It's difficult to finish all the USAF structures. Under the Research and Innovation Strategy Group, we have the postgraduate community of practice, headed also by Professor Burton, which looks at the challenges of postgraduate students. And those of us who belong there, what we know about USAF's work is that people give of themselves so freely, and they drive the cause of our country. I have to introduce this very important person, who is the DDG, Mr. Imran Patel. We met at the Department of the former Department of Science and Technology in 2008 when I joined. And he had just been there for 2 years from his side. He's a public policy strategy executive with a focus on science, technology, and innovation, inclusive development, sustainability, social and economic development, science impact, and public management and governance. This is not a joke. Imran is a jack of all trades. Whether he's a master of none or not, we're not sure. He was employed since 2006 at the Department of Science and Innovation. He's currently a Deputy Director General responsible for research, development, and support. He's a member of the board of the Water Research Commission and Trade, Industry, and Policy Strategies, and a past board member of MinTech and SASCAL. Prior to joining the Department of Science and Innovation, he worked at the Center for Public Service Innovation, an agency of government supporting innovation in the delivery of public service, and Department of Public Service and Administration. He began his working life with a 5-year stint at the Workplace Information Group, which is a non-governmental organization supporting the trade unions, followed by 3 years during the formative years of the National Labour and Economic Development Institute, which is NALEDI, which is a think tank of COSATU. Particular areas of focus for him include science and technology for sustainable development, R&D-led industrial development, green and circular economy, and science policy interface, the next industrial revolution. Welcome, Mr. Imran Patel.
Thanks, Pitiwe. I suspect that you got a bit of an older printout of the long biography, which I'm trying to cut down on. And also, I'm no longer on any of those other boards, TIPS and Water Research Commission. But thanks, it's a real pleasure to be here. I can see that we're running late on the program, and I got a plane to catch soon. So I'll keep it brief and do the two things. And I'm glad that the word was used, reflections. I've been indicating to people that please don't ask me to do keynotes. Ministers do keynotes. Bureaucrats like myself, we need to implement the policy so we can do reflections on the policy. So I'll do some policy reflections, but before that, I would want to just deal with some protocol matters and also do the first part, which is celebrating this wonderful occasion and this wonderful program. So Dr. Matutu, Dr. Fatiswa, Prof. Burton, Prof. Kaniki, my colleagues at the DSTI, mentors and honorary guests from the different universities, etc. Let me stand on the protocol that's been observed by the previous speakers. I'm not going to go into the program. I saw that some of the notes I was given because I think that was done excellently in the welcome suggestion, the history of this program, etc. And Dr. Matutu, I don't think we'll have a problem spending the funding now. Hopefully we can generate more funding. So this program has been a success with the limited funding contribution. I know that people have indicated that the DSTI has provided the support for getting these platforms up and running. But sometimes it's not the amount of funding that you put into a program, it's the design of the program, the commitment. Because the true cost of this program is not what the DST provides. So sometimes we shouldn't be standing here. Your labor time, your labor cost, the mentors, the institutions that are putting their support behind this, etc., far outweigh the financial contribution that we make as the DSTI. But we fully accept that, you know, those other things can't be glued and stitched together without the kind of financial resources. So we are committed to ensuring that this platform grows and persists and gets taken to the next level. But clearly, when Prof. Burton presented this program, it was clear that that's not where the success lies. So let me kind of fully acknowledge that the success is due to your contributions as the institutions, but very significantly the kind of effort that is being put in by the USAf team. All of them I'm not familiar with yet, so hopefully we will have time during the part of the discussion to get to know the team well. So thanks for your contribution and success, and you make the department and the minister look good and help us to enhance the system that we're doing. What I want to kind of spend just a few minutes doing, because I'm not going to be at the session tomorrow, is just some policy reflections that hopefully you can take in the conversation, just to set the kind of context on where we're going to. So clearly people have heard by now in all the engagements that we have, is that we've set ourselves a mission as the department over this administration to really be forceful about placing science, technology, and innovation at the center of education, industry, government, and society. It's a mantra that the minister has framed together with the executive and his advisors. And the reason for that is not just because it sounds interesting, but clearly because what we need to do is celebrate not in this room, but in society. We tend to spend too much time, I was in a few events, and the energy and the buzz and the people who are part of this national system of innovation know the wonderful work that's been doing. But if we're really wanting to elevate and ensure that South Africa becomes like those powerhouses in Asia, China as an example, where science and technology is at the center, it's extremely important for us to get the message out there. Not just about what we're doing, but the kind of transformative change that we're making. And I think the emerging researchers come with that, a new orientation. Younger scholars are much more impact-driven because of the kind of polycrisis that we face and the urgency with which we need to deal with challenges. So we are counting on people here, TUSO Connect, etc., to really leverage your capabilities, or leverage the capabilities in all of our programs to really get out science, technology, and innovation to all parts of the world. So that's the kind of first policy priority that we're wanting to highlight. And it does give us an opportunity because we all know that the kind of fiscal environment is constrained at this point in time. We're working hard continuously. I was at the Cabinet Committee meeting yesterday, taking a few documents to Cabinet, really to illustrate the fact that we need to significantly increase science, technology, and innovation investment. So we will continue to do that. But the objective reality, and I saw yesterday, I was listening to 702, we are turning a corner. If you look at the fact that we have a primary surplus now, but we have debt to run down, etc. So public finances are still constrained, but the trajectory over the medium to long term is positive. What we need to do as a science system is to make sure that we have our programs maintained, enhanced, grown, so that it can be, as Pitiwe highlighted, we're not looking for, and I know DSTI, we had this, we had money in the past, we didn't have the projects. Now we have the complete opposite project. We have the projects and the initiatives, we don't have the funding. But I think we can reach there in 3 years' time, because if we have all of the building blocks in place, and it's simply about feeding more energy and funding into the system, we would be able to do that. So that remains our objective, is to grow, to maintain in the short term, the next 2 to 3 years, where we can enhance and improve the numbers and the targets and get more people into the fold in terms of mentors and resources on the TUSO network. We would want to do that. So that's the kind of second reflection, is that we have to navigate the next few years in a way that the kind of entities in the national system of innovation empower us as the DSTI to go and put forward these kind of proposals. And I think we have it. What we don't have is a very good way of packaging our initiatives in a kind of strategic way. And human capital development is core to that in terms of this. So that's the second reflection that I want to raise. The third is that as we move forward, notwithstanding the fact that I'm bullish about securing funding over the medium to long term for programs like us, we still confront in this country huge challenges which are getting even more challenging. Whether it's trying to respond to climate change, every time you think things are moving, you have a disaster, you have to manage those things, etc. Which means that there must be still opportunities for us to, I think as a science system, we're deploying our resources very effectively compared to many other sectors. But it's not as if that there's no opportunities for wringing out further outputs. And one of the kind of strategies around that is the fact that we can be more precision now. We can be more targeted about areas of focus. And the digital tools exist, and that's why I'm very excited that it's rapidly taking. I was at the Sarawak Bursary Program celebration on Sunday, and they set up and launched a network, what's it called, an alumni network. At the Women in Science Awards, we did the same. We've created a LinkedIn platform, etc. So we are mobilizing because we have found that over the last 30 years, we've managed to touch the lives of many people who want to pay back. And I was hearing this message even at the Sarawak Bursary Program. What we're not doing effectively as the DSTI is marshalling that as effectively as we should. But I can say that today, but then I went to the Science Forum and I said, I was astounded because a lot of those people have brought in newer people because they have been beneficiaries 20 years back or 15 years back, etc. So we need to be a lot more targeted about where we're going to, and that does mean we have to have better information about particularly the people who make this national system of innovation dynamic, and ensure that we're able to target in a very focused way those talents that we're wanting to take forward and nurture and stream people into other programs. We have a whole range of instruments, and what I'm finding is that these instruments can be stitched together a lot more effectively and not to duplicate. So I would encourage people to continue setting up the TUSO resources, etc., but we're hoping to give some leadership to the system. The DG is fully behind this project to try to set up what we call a digital twin of the national system of innovation, so that we understand. We have a lot of data. NRF has done a lot of the kind of legacy that PTU have left behind now. I've seen a recent presentation on what we have in the system. Now we need to really use that in a strategic and targeted way to make the kind of changes. So hopefully we'll be able to draw on the data that you have, the mentors and the mentees, to be able to look at how we effectively provide some additional support or some additional networking, etc., that allow people to grow. So let me conclude to say that I think we are turning a corner in terms of, I still think we lament the fact that we have an aging research cohort, but just the evidence that I've seen in the past few months, having been part of the program, I think the trajectory is there for the new cohort of researchers to really take us to the next level forward and to be guided by the impact question, which I think characterizes this new cohort of researchers that we have. So thank you and enjoy the dinner, and I hope to be a champion for this program together with my colleagues Becky and Mapute. And if I'm not a champion, they'll make sure that I am a champion. Thank you.
Thank you, DDG, for helping us to reflect and look at the work that we do as the AECRS, and also to look at how can we grow the program beyond the impact that is contributing into the sector. And we noted the reflection about the value that the program is actually contributing to South Africa, and also to see that this is also value for money. When you have got the funders, you need to show that what they're funding has got value for the work that they do. But also to mention that the room is open to look at how to use data to come up with more innovative and strategic ways to contribute to research within South Africa. So thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. Colleagues were very much aware that when you keep researchers talking, they start to think about rigor, they start to think about depth. So before you get into these critiques and look at us and ask how deep we are, we're going to go for the starters. So we want you to continue reflecting about the program and its impact. So we're going to take some few minutes just to relax, to network. I hope you are still enjoying your starters. We're not going to stop you. If you can just keep it a bit low, we need to move due to time. I'm going to call the next speaker. I think the program organizers, they heard my reflection and they promoted me. Now I can introduce at least the speaker for today. So I'm going to introduce Prof. Baton. And I must say, having worked at UP as well, this is a very abridged CV. And I think it comes with being a professor. If you get us PhD, you are going to put all my articles here. To the last one, even the abstracts, they'll be here with a bracket about to be published. So when you reach a professorship, you just keep it brief. You have heard all the accolades being called. So Prof. Baton is the program leader of advancing early career researchers and scholars, senior professor in biochemistry at the University of Pretoria, and a past vice principal for research and postgraduate education, renowned for her leadership in research, strategy, postgraduate training, and capacity development. She has been central to building national frameworks that support early career academics. Let's put our hands together as we welcome her to the front. Prof. Baton.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. Honored guests, that's all of you, honored guests, but Dr. Matutu and colleagues and friends from the Program Advisory Committee, from the RISG, from the DSTI. Again, all protocol observed, I really am delighted to have you all here. But especially, I want to say welcome to the mentors and mentees and the champions of this program. That's why we're here, and that's why we've called it Celebrating Progress and Fostering Potential. And we'll talk much more about that tomorrow. But I was asked this evening to just talk briefly about the AECRS, we call it AECRS, journey. You know, as far back as I was thinking, about 15 years ago, I found myself quite often standing on platforms, speaking on podiums, just like this one, to address audiences about aspects of higher education in the higher education sector. And very often, I found myself saying, you know, we need to think about how to support the early career, the emerging researchers. During the time when I was the DVC at the University of Pretoria, we started a program, the Early Career Researchers Program in the university, and because I was so proud of it, I talked about it at various meetings, in particular, the RISG, the Research and Innovation Strategy Group of USAf, and I know that through that, we managed to gain the ear of some of the DSTI, in those days, DST people, but the conversation that I think really started all of this was at the DVC's forum. There is a forum for DVCs of research. It's a club for DVCs. It's a therapy group for DVCs of research. And at the time, it was very active. And we had many opportunities to work together, to talk together. And I don't need to tell those who are here who have been or are DVCs for research that you need a therapy group. And that was it. And our conversation there was often went to saying, you know, we should be collaborating more. You know, why are we not sharing these things? We have these programs, we have these innovations, interventions in our universities. Some of us more easily than others, some of us more developing and developed than others. And we kept saying, why are we not collaborating? Why don't we share resources? My very good friend, Rob Drennan, who at the time was a part of some of those conversations, he's now the Executive Director for Research at WITS. He and I shared an office when we were doing our PhDs in ancient history at Rhodes University. But he said to me about this, what we need is a national toolbox. And that phrase became a part of the thinking that started all of this. So we agreed that we really did need to somehow put things together. And you know, there's another quotation that you'll remember and you'll recognize, and that is, it always seems impossible until it's done. Well, we did start by saying, how are we going to make this happen? And then in 2018, it's quite a long time ago now, but moving on, a study was published. It was commissioned by the Department of Science and Technology, and it was published by Professor Johan Mouton, who was and is at Stellenbosch. And it was his report was titled, Building a Cadre of Emerging Scholars for Higher Education in South Africa. It was a long and very detailed report about what was needed to build the new round of academics, because one of the very clear concerns was the aging group of professors who were very rapidly going to be leaving the academic sector, and how were we going to replace those retiring senior professors. There was also other critical gaps that he identified, for example, the need to enable non-research active members of university staff. That study showed that a significant proportion of lecturers and senior lecturers didn't have PhDs and were feeling held back by the pressures of trying to cope with teaching loads and doing doctoral degrees at the same time. And 75% of the lecturers and 58% of senior lecturers were not actively publishing and were not actively pursuing, for example, NRF ratings. So there was very clearly a need for addressing some of the issues. There were, when we looked into it, heavy teaching and administrative workloads, insufficient research funding, hindering progress. And the promotion criteria that were in effect were not aligned with what early career academics were trying to do. And of course, these disciplinary differences and a lack of transparency. So based on all of that, and all these discussions at the DVC Forum and the RISG, supported by DST, USAf took on the work of developing a program to address the issues, and in due course, they asked me to lead the program. To start, we embarked on a very detailed survey, a mapping exercise. I spoke mostly on the phone. This was before COVID days, so some of those meetings were real. But I spoke to all of the DVCs and all of the directors for research and postgraduate studies at all of the universities. And we gathered all of this information about what support programs there were. And we also looked at the support programs that were offered, for example, by the NRF and some of the bigger organizations as well. And we put together a huge map of where there was support and where there were huge gaps. And the answer that really came out of it was that there were enormous gaps. And having looked at that, there simply wasn't a coherent system for supporting early career academics. We did identify some very clear trends when we looked at all of that. We could see that there was insufficient guidance and mentorship for those emerging researchers. There was a lack of effective networks. The DVCs were bad enough at networking, and people who were in the rest of the universities were really not efficiently networking at all. I can see Henriette nodding her head. We were, and I think we aren't all that much better now, but we were very bad at actually working with each other and forming networks. You know, you don't actually need to have a formal structure in order to pick up the phone or to talk with somebody at another university about how things are going and how they're doing things. So that networking, it was very clear that that was one of the big gaps. We also knew that there was really no resource base, that national toolbox, for people who were looking for information or guidance on how to develop their careers. Simple things. How do you write a research proposal? How do you ask for a grant? Where do you go? You know, for early career academics, these things are not all that clear. They certainly weren't then. And we could see also that there was a need for guidance when people took on academic jobs. And then they say, right, you've got a PhD, well, now you can supervise. You know, I know that a lot of people would go into that. I was one of them long ago. Said, okay, I'm going to supervise a PhD student. How do you do that? How do you start? Where's the guidance there? So we knew that that was another gap. So we made a number of recommendations to the USAf RISG and to DST in those days, proposing that universities should intensify the support for emerging researchers and develop some more extensive capacity building programs with some effective mentorship and coordination of support initiatives, and particularly where there were already programs in place. We also, of course, did look at, for example, the programs that NRF and USAf were already running. And we proposed creating an open access framework hosted by USAf to address all of those needs. I must say, we were and are still deeply grateful that the DST then, and the DSTI now, has supported all of this all along. We have had support from representatives on the RISG and representatives at USAf and interested members of the DSTI who have really paid attention when we've asked and said what we think we need, and it has been actually why we've managed to keep it going. So we really do appreciate that. One of the key proposals that we made when we wrote this big implementation plan, which I then submitted to the then DG, Dr. Phil Majakwa, was a national mentorship framework, along with sharing of capacity and supervisor training and a coordinated online resource repository. And in due course, the Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholars Programme was established in 2021 as a flagship initiative hosted by USAf and supported by the DST. And the whole plan was to empower knowledge and skills and practices for early career researchers across the national system. The program has primarily focused on enhancing support and capacity building, and that was how TUSO Connect and TUSO Resources were born. I think it was Leandro who told us who suggested naming them TUSO, which means help. I'm sure you know that. But the AECRS program is actually structured around 4 pillars. There's the training and supervision, particularly involving supervisor quality, which is the community of practice. There's the career development resources, which is the TUSO resources. There's the networking and mentorship. And there is, still coming, not quite done yet, a system for monitoring and evaluating the impact of any interventions. Once again, that plan, you'll hear much more about it tomorrow, but that plan is to have a system which any institution or organization can use to monitor and evaluate the impact of any of their interventions. So, it is an honor to report to you that since its inception in 2021, this program has been addressing critical issues faced by early career academics, including the need for robust mentorship and supervisor training and open information resources. And in particular, we recognize that early career researchers often experience challenges related to skills, those skills. How do you supervise? How do you write things? How do you publish? And who can I ask? So we've implemented this national mentorship program, the TUSO Connect, which supports all of that as a structured mentorship opportunity. It does promote career progression and addresses diversity and transformation goals. Our activities now are much broader. We started by setting up the open line, online, anybody can access TUSO platform, the TUSO Connect platform, and it has members who are as far away as Australia, and in fact there are people all over the world who do go onto the online system, but we have broadened it now. We have webinars very regularly. We have mentor masterclasses. Those amaze me. At the last one that we had, which was only about a week ago, there were more than 400 people who were online listening to an hour of mentorship masterclass, which just shows you it was needed, it is needed, and it is finding a home. So we try with those masterclasses, and we also are wanting to expand the platform to across the continent, and also, of course, to multiple universities and multiple disciplinary areas. One of the things that has been a real learning curve for me is just how different mentorship is in different disciplines, and how complicated it becomes when you ask people to do transdisciplinary work. So there's more to expand on, and of course, that's what we will be doing. But it has demonstrated as a platform growing engagement. And the TUSO Resources, the sister program, which is the repository for information resources, has thousands of people looking at it. So far this year, 5,000 people have been on the TUSO Resources platform. And as I said, crucially and importantly, we are establishing that digital monitoring system, which we have sort of called TUSO Monitor, but I know my colleagues don't really like that name, so we might need a new one. And that will track the impact and the progress of all of these interventions. More about that tomorrow when we talk about what we need to do going forward. So, looking forward, we have hosted multiple successful colloquia and workshops and seminars online and so on. But we'll be taking phase 2 forward. Thank you very much to our colleagues from the DSTI. And we will be focusing on upscaling the mentorship networks, enriching the digital resources, enhancing the doctoral supervision quality, and rolling out that comprehensive monitoring dashboard. We also will be thinking more about strategic communication for a broader impact. We have, in the last year or two, had a big campaign of communication and marketing led by my team member Nobile, who is amazing at all of this wonderful branding and marketing and all the communication that you hear. She even, you'll see tomorrow, she even has made my presentations look more interesting. But those key activities will be about developing new partnerships and networks and maintaining those platforms so that they stay relevant and impactful beyond the current period. And that is why we are so pleased to have you all here to hear this tonight and to talk with us tomorrow. We need to think about impact and visibility and growth, and there really is much to celebrate. So in conclusion, I can say with some pride that this program does demonstrate sector-wide commitment to nurturing our next generation of scholars and researchers and empowering them with skills, networks, and support that's necessary to evolve our academic landscape. So let me just finally say, I would like to acknowledge with very deep appreciation the support provided by USAf, which has always been completely unstinting and very welcoming, and the work of the AECRS team, Janet, Mpumi, Leandra, Nobile, who are always there, always willing and able. You know, the WhatsApp group starts at about 5:30 in the morning because they know that Prof. Burton gets up early. But they are always there. They are experts and they are professionals, and always a joy to work with. Thank you. So, colleagues, that's the story of where it is, perhaps the more human story. We look forward tomorrow to hearing your views and your ideas. This is a program, a set of platforms which belongs to you. And we hope that you will find that tomorrow is a worthwhile opportunity to give us your ideas. For tonight, let us celebrate the progress that we have made and look forward to the potential that is coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Burton. What a wonderful reflection about the journey that has led us to be where we are today. And thank you for taking us through that journey. And I must say, when I listened to you, there was a part where you spoke about how as a DVC, you need a therapy group. And when I heard that, I had to check on your profile, which year was this? Was I a student or a staff? Because I was trying to figure out, was the stress from the bottom or from the top? Because it could not have been us. And Dr. Matutu, no, my line manager is a former VC. So I could only suspect it come from the top. So I relate with you in that regard. It could not have been us from the bottom. So on that note, colleagues, I thank you so much, Prof. And really, this is a good reflection to take us back on how the whole program was conceptualized from your reflection at UP and how you brought that into USAf. And ultimately, we ended up with that online masterclass and ultimately the TUSO Connect. And we're here today. I think let's give it a big hand of applause, colleagues. And when I was listening to you on that one, I started to, you know, as a PhD scholar, there's a concept, they call it metacognition. If you don't know it and you are a mentee, meet your mentor during supper. Say, why don't I know this word? You have to know it. But I'm becoming academic. I'm going to stop. Let's take time, colleagues, and reflect about the journey. I want to check at the back if they'll give me a cue when they are ready. We need to watch testimonials, those who have been part of this journey, to take us through the reflection. If you are ready, I'm ready. Over to you.
The AECRS program has made a powerful impact on South Africa's national system of innovation by supporting early career researchers through mentorship, collaboration, and accessible resources. Platforms like TUSO Connect, TUSO Resources are practical examples of how the program helps emerging scholars thrive while promoting a culture of excellence and innovation. As part of the AECRS Program Advisory Committee, my role is to provide expertise, offer feedback, and help shape the program's strategic direction. We identify gaps, recommend interventions, and guide initiatives that strengthen support system for researchers across universities. The work helps ensure AECRS remains responsive to the real needs of academics on the ground. What stands out to me most is the collaborative spirit of the program. It brings together people from across higher education to share best practices, develop sustainable support structures, and build lasting research communities. AECRS is not just a program, it is a national effort to empower scholars, transform the research environment in South Africa.
TUSO Connect, for me, is a platform that helps emerging researchers find their feet, encouragement, and ongoing support as they navigate their academic journey. It gives them access to mentors beyond their institution, people who understand their challenges and can guide them with wisdom and care. As a mentor, TUSO Connect has allowed me to build meaningful relationships and share insight from my own academic journey. I've seen mentees grow at their own pace, set their goals, and become more confident as they align with their academic aspirations. These connections are authentic, empowering, and deeply rewarding. To anyone considering joining TUSO Connect, whether you're a mentor or a mentee, I say do it. Academia can be tough, but it doesn't have to be lonely. Through this platform, we support, guide, and uplift one another. And to my fellow academics, it is time to give back. Let's nurture the next generation of scholars and leave our institutions stronger than we found them.
The Advancing Early Career Researchers and Scholarship is a powerful, transformative program that truly speaks to the heart of supporting young academics in South Africa. It's not just another initiative. It's a national movement designed to help early career researchers grow, connect, and succeed in a system that can be challenging to navigate. Through structured mentorship, resources, and collaboration, the program is giving early career researchers the space, confidence, and support they need to thrive. Looking ahead, I envisage AECRS continuing to grow as a key driver to transformation, opening doors for underrepresented groups, and evolving into a true career accelerator. With ongoing investment and collaboration, it will continue shaping a diverse, capable generation of scholars who will lead South Africans' research into the future.
TUSO Resources, to me, is more than just an information platform. It is an empowering tool that bridges the gap in knowledge, access, and opportunities across South African academia. In a system where many researchers face barriers, this platform levels the playing field by offering free, equitable access to quality materials for professional development and training opportunities. It has played a major role in my own groups as a researcher. Through TUSO Resources, I have created content that strengthens my leadership, supervision, and research skills. I have learned new methodologies, discovered valuable training programs, and built confidence to contribute meaningfully in a conference and publication. TUSO Resources represent transformation in action. It democratizes access to information and give every researcher, regardless of background or institution, the opportunity to grow. It's truly a cornerstone for building an inclusive, empowered academic community in South Africa.
TUSO Connect has been a bridge between early career researchers like me and experienced academics who guide us through our journey. It levels the playing field by creating access to mentorship that many young scholars wouldn't otherwise have. It's more than a networking tool. It's a space for growth, accountability, and genuine connection. My mentorship experience through TUSO Connect has been transformative. Being paired with a professor from Ireland helped me develop structure, confidence, and clarity in my research goals. Our weekly sessions were filled with practical advice and encouragement that pushed me to grow both professionally and personally. To anyone considering registering on TUSO Connect, take that first step. You don't have to be perfect already. Just start where you are. The platform guides you, helps you set your goals, and connects you with mentors who care. Academia can feel overwhelming, but mentorship multiplies your growth. Join the community and let it transform your journey.
TUSO Connect, for me, is about giving back. When I began my academic journey, I had support, but much of it was trial and error. That experience showed me the power of structured mentorship, and that's exactly what TUSO Connect provides. A space where emerging academics can find both guidance and community. Being a mentor on TUSO Connect has been deeply fulfilling. After decades in academia, I still learn something new through every interaction. Mentorship keeps me connected to fresh perspectives and helps me grow alongside the next generation of scholars. It's truly a two-way exchange. To my fellow academics and early career researchers, I encourage you to get involved. There's always something to give and always something to learn. Sharing your journey not only benefits others, it also shapes you into a more rounded academic, whether as a lecturer, researcher, or leader. The growth you gain through this kind of engagement can't be taught in a classroom. It comes from real connection and collaboration. And you never know how these experiences may open new opportunities or prepare you for the future of academia.
The COP-PGES has created a truly unique space for collaboration across South African universities by breaking silos and encouraging open dialogue. It has allowed us to share strategies, supervision models, and research practices, learning from one another and building collective capacity that uplift postgraduate education nationally. What I value most is the sense of community it creates. It brings together people who are committed to learning from and with each other, improving supervision and ensuring research remains relevant and impactful. More scholars and supervisors should join because the collective wisdom of this community uplifts not just individuals, but the entire postgraduate ecosystem. The COP-PGES is more than a platform. It's a movement for excellence, collaboration, and transformation in postgraduate education.
The community of practice for postgrad education and scholarship is a professional and intellectual home for academics, supervisors, and postgrad coordinators. It's where we come together to share strategies, strengthen research capacity, and collectively improve postgrad education, In a context like South Africa, where equity, access, and throughput remains key challenges, this community is essential. Through the COP PGES, I've seen the power of collaboration across universities. It creates a space to share knowledge, supervision models, and teaching practices that improve student success and research quality. I've personally brought lessons from national discussions back into my own supervision at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, lessons that have enriched both my teaching and my student experiences. The greatest value of the COP PGES is how it professionalizes and supports postgrad supervision. It connects academics, provides mentorship, and builds confidence in supervision. Every supervisor should be part of this movement because together we're shaping a more inclusive and impactful postgraduate education system for South Africa.
Colleagues, thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed the dinner. We need to now move to the last segment of the program. It's going to be brief. I can assure you that if all is well coordinated, within 10 minutes or 15, we should be out of this place. So colleagues, we have heard from the program leader, Prof. Baton, who have taken us back on the journey on how to be where we are today. And I think it's about time that we pause a bit and we reflect about the dedication, the leadership, and the support of those who have shaped the program. So this is time where we show appreciation for such people. And for that part of the program, I'm going to call one of the engine behind the program, Janet, to come on stage. And while she does that, I'm also going to, yet again, and I said it's not going to affect my performance, keep my boss busy, Dr. Matutu, to also come just here in the front to guide us with the certification process. Let's give them a hand as they move to the front.
Thanks, CEO. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, partners, and friends. It's my privilege to celebrate some of the achievements of the AECRS community and to honor some remarkable individuals who have contributed not only their time and expertise, but their sincere commitment to the growth of the program. Firstly, I would like to recognize some of our mentors who have gone above and beyond. Those who have invested in multiple mentees, often juggling 3 or 4 partnerships at a time. Your generosity, patience, and dedication have implied the reach of this program and strengthened its impact. You have demonstrated what true mentorship looks like: consistent guidance, open-hearted support, and an unwavering belief in the potential of others. We celebrate you and thank you for lifting as you rise. So to some of our mentors that are here with us this evening, and this is not all of the mentors, we have a number of mentors registered on TUSO Connect, but we would just like to celebrate and honor a few that have really mentored and partnered with multiple mentees. And I'm going to ask you to come forward, and Dr. Matutu's got something small to hand over to you, and then we would like to take a photo. So can we ask Professor Thierry Padiachi, if you are still in the room? Prof. Padiachi signed up in 2023 and has mentored 3 emerging scholars and researchers. She's an accomplished academic, certified ethics practitioner with WITS, and professional certified coach. Her expertise is in transformation and life coaching, career and personal development mentoring. And we want to thank you for your participation, and we appreciate what you are doing for our next generation of academics. The next mentor we would like to call up is Dr. Chueni Simono. Dr. Chueni is affiliated with Nelson Mandela University. We saw him on the video earlier. He joined in 2024. He holds a PhD in management from the University of the Western Cape, and his research focuses on workplace diversity and organizational performance. His fields of interest expand to organizational transformation, operations management, and diversity management. Thank you so much, Dr. Chueni. Then we would like to ask if Dr. Caswell Nseno is in the room. Thank you. Dr. Caswell is with the South African Theological Seminary. His career spans over a decade as a dedicated educator in higher education. His expertise encompasses the realms of leadership, education, and management. His background is in theology, education, leadership, and business, and he has also mentored 3 young academics and scholars. His commitment to advancing knowledge and enhancing academic standards underscores his dedication to transformative education. Thank you so much. And then we'd like to call upon Dr. Suresh Krishna. In the room, Dr. Suresh? Thank you. Dr. Suresh is from DUT. He joined in 2024, and he has mentored 4 young academics and scholars. He's a research fellow in the Faculty of Health Sciences, and his primary research focus is on nanoformulations. Wow. He has authored over 69 peer-reviewed publications, including groundbreaking papers in high-impact journals. He holds a strong passion for providing research training and guidance to the younger generation. Thank you so much. Then the last mentor we would like to honor is not able to be here tonight, but just for the record, it's Professor Abdullah USAf from the University of Pretoria, and we will make sure that he does get his certificate of appreciation after the event. Then, colleagues, we are also excited to extend a special appreciation to the following colleagues who have shown long-term commitment to growing early career researchers and scholars and the AECRS Programme. Year after year, they have remained pillars of stability and continuity. Your sustained involvement has shaped not only individual researchers, but the broader culture of collaboration and excellence we continue to build. This long-term dedication is the backbone of our success, and we thank you. So the first person we would like to celebrate, who has walked this journey with us for a long time, is Professor Jessica Singh. Professor Singh is the Director of Research at UWC, and we celebrate her for her unwavering commitment to advancing excellence. She has been one of the founding members of the PAC and the Community of Practice for Postgraduate Education and Scholarship. Thank you for your commitment to advancing excellence and collaboration within the AECRS Programme. Then our next award, we would like to very much honor Mr. Beki Hadebe. Is he in the room? Mr. Beki Hadebe, Director High-End Skills from the DSTI. Mr. Hadebe, we celebrate you for your exceptional dedication and consistent support, ensuring seamless engagement and impact across the program. You are a real visionary behind the program, and your belief and encouragement have been instrumental in turning this into a national reality. Thank you, Becky. And then lastly, wonderful. And then lastly, this is no surprise, we would like to honor Professor Stephanie Burton. We would like to honour her visionary guidance and instrumental role in shaping the AECRS journey from its earliest stages to its continued success. She has a lifelong commitment to mentoring and continuously investing in people, nurturing talent, and championing the collaborative spirit that has shaped the AECRS journey. Thank you so much, Professor Burton. Thank you so much. That concludes our tokens of appreciation for this evening. We do have something that we would like to give to our champions, but that we will do tomorrow at the workshop. But just from the AECRS Programme team and from USAf to everybody who has been part of the program over the last 4 years, thank you so much. The spirit of partnership, mentorship, and shared progress defines AECRS. Your contributions are not only appreciated, they are truly transformative. We can't do this without you. Thank you, and may we continue building this journey together. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Janet and Dr. Matutu. And congratulations to the recipients of the awards. Can we give them a hand of applause again? Colleagues, that brings us to the end of the program. As we promised that we'll at least stretch it for 15 minutes because we started 15 minutes late. We're going to have time for photos, but we don't want that to hold others who might need to leave. So let me take this time to thank everybody who has been part of this celebration and joining us in this commitment to honor and celebrate those who have been part of this vision, and also to look forward to a better program in the coming year. And we look forward to the conversations tomorrow. We are not doing a words of thanks because we are not ending today. We are still continuing tomorrow. Today was just a starter. If you think this is exciting, you have not seen tomorrow. And call everybody who missed today. Tell them if the starter looked like this, tomorrow is even going to be more exciting. So we really want to welcome you, colleagues, to join us tomorrow at the workshop, where we'll co-create the priorities for 2026. I'm going to close the gala, but it's not the end. The minute I say we are done, while you go and enjoy your dessert, I want all those who are recipients to come to the front for the photos. So colleagues, with those words, our evening has come to an end. Enjoy the dessert, and you've been a good guest. Thank you so much.